This is the Morning Drive, brought to you by NationofBlue.com, the king of UK fan websites. Good morning, Cat fans. Fake Billy Clyde and NationofBlue.com. This is the Morning Drive. Big weekend for Wildcat News. We're talking first practice basketball team. And the football team plays Little Cornhole. And we're short one Wildcat going into next year. Probably guess who that's going to be. And the Cats, when they play in Canada, they're going to be on TV. But we also got with us today Mr. Scott Anderson. How are you, sir?
Doing very good. Really busy weekend here. Really, Sundays got really busy, actually.
Sundays, it's been like that last few weeks. It stays pretty slow, and then you go into Saturday, picks up a little bit, but then Sunday seems to be the day when everyone wants to make the news, I guess. And so let's I guess kick it off with that. And Calipari is breaking news on Sunday with Facebook. So no more do you have the press conference, at 10 a.m. in the morning. Calipari needs to announce something. He just uses Facebook like everyone else, I guess, to break his news. And today the big thing is Darnell Dodson will not be playing with the team this season. What do you think, Mr. Anderson?
Well, our buddy Anthony Wireman, who contributes to Nation of Blue, kind of put out a rumor about July 4th on Independence Day, talking about that Dodson possibly wouldn't be on the team this year. And, then there was speculation that he would be back, and we didn't know for sure. And then Calipari comes out today and pretty much solidifies that he will not be back. It's not because he's going to be ineligible, but until he meets the standards of playing for Kentucky, then maybe he could come back. But he's not coming back this year.
Correct. Now, Calipari announced if Darnell, who is academically eligible, so it's not his grades. Evidently, he's made the grades. He can play. But if he decides to return, he could practice with the team if he meets our standards. So, obviously, there's Dodson is not meeting the standards set forth by the university or the coaching staff on what it's going to take to be on this team. And there's tons of rumors on what that could mean.
Well, I actually, I heard from one source that's pretty close, to the university, that Darnell really didn't like the direction that Coach Cal was going with him, and that Cal's all about, having givers, not takers. He
That's
said that
correct,
before. Yeah. So, I have a good vibe that's probably what it is. I think Darnell wanted to be the man, and maybe, with the recruiting classes we get, and if you play at Kentucky, you better be ready to, share. Right. Because, the recruiting classes are unreal. I mean, you're going to have to share a lot of time with a lot of five-star people, and you need to contribute the way you have to contribute to win. That's the goal. We got to win a championship, Billy Clyde.
Yeah, well, with one-and-dones or this type of talent where people are, we know these kids are going to come in, they're going to play, they'll probably be in the NBA the following year. Everyone has to be on the bus. They cannot, we don't have time to spend 2 or 3 years everyone getting to know each other and play with each other and knowing the system, and then everybody's kind of, okay, we're bought into it. This is going to be the year. I mean, immediately right out of the gates, everyone has to understand what's expected and make that commitment that they are going to do what's best for the team, not as for themselves as an individual, and they have to get on that bus and do what it takes. And if someone's not willing to be on the bus or isn't feeling it all the way, it's probably best that they just not play. I'd have to, and if that's the case, I would definitely support Dodson not being on the team or anyone not being on the team if they're not going to agree with what Coach Cal wants and put the team first. So, maybe he changes his mind, maybe he comes back, and maybe he doesn't. If he doesn't, then I guess, does that leave a spot open? Can someone else?
Yeah, that's the thing. We have 10 scholarship players right now with one walk-on. Real quick, Harrelson, Hood, Jones, Canner, Knight, Lamb, Liggins, Miller, Polson, Poole, and Vargas. It's going to be pretty tight going to Canada because Vargas isn't going. He has to finish up classes.
Right.
So there's going to be some guys that have a legitimate chance like John Hood and Josh Harrelson, and the two I'm thinking of, that has a shot to really make some waves towards next year.
Now there still is this one spot that Calipari has said for a while now that expect one more. Be looking for one more pickup, and that's kind of died out. I haven't heard him mention it here lately. Now you have this Dodson thing, so I'm not sure.
I don't know what he's going to do now. There's not a whole lot of guys just running around out there, so
right.
I guess we got our 11. That's it. And heck, who's happier than anybody? Probably Jared Paulson. Man, he just moved up again. Walk on. He's like, heck yeah, man.
Right.
That's for sure.
But they had their first practice over the weekend, and some comments from Calipari via Facebook was returning players kind of knew what to do. When they saw that they did something wrong, they just knew to do it over. He didn't have to ask, and he thought that set a real good example for all the freshmen coming in. He said he was impressed by DeAndre's shooting, and I am a DeAndre Liggins fan. I always have been for day one. Not sure why, but just for some reason I just picked DeAndre Liggins. I always do that. I kind of, as the class comes in, I kind of pick that guy.
That's your Clippers.
That's kind of like my Clippers there. So, DeAndre Liggins is shooting well. He likes that. And impressed with Darius's athleticism. So, hopefully, he's showing a lot more confidence on the floor. Would love to see that this year. And what was it? John looks more comfortable on the floor, which I don't see how you could look any more uncomfortable than he did last year. So, but it is good to see him more comfortable. It's his second year. He's got freshmen coming in. Maybe he has a little more confidence. Playing with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins every day probably does make you feel a little. You probably lose a little confidence in practice having to go up against those guys every day. And he saw Harrelson running the floor. He said he looked lighter on his feet, which is a good thing to see. Which we'll just have to wait till Canada to see how that all shakes out. But hey, sounded like a good first practice, and sounds like Coach is pretty excited, and I know we're getting excited. And it was good that he put that out there because it's all been 2011 recruiting news forever. Now, I'm sure Joker's probably happy to hear something about this year, even if it wasn't football. But Joker even made the news today, and he was tweeting about his cornhole tournament. I guess the annual UK football cornhole tournament is off and going, and Randall Cobb. Who was it? Randall Cobb's won the last 2 years, Cobb and his partner, and it looked like they lost in the first round. Right, they lost in the first round this year. So
upset.
And I guess the championship game was Moncell Allen and Gabe Cornell versus Coach Chuck Smith and defensive end Taylor Wyndham. And Coach Smith and Taylor ended up winning the cornhole tournament.
Hey, would you like to lose? Hey, wouldn't you let Taylor Wyndham lose? Ask Tim Tebow. Ask Tim Tebow.
Yeah, I guess he can win, right?
Yeah. I think they just let him win.
Right. That's cornhole tournament's always fun. Maybe that's something we need to look at for Nation of Blue come this football season, tailgating. Maybe have it just an ongoing cornhole tournament through some tailgates. That might be a good idea. Also, when the Cats play in Canada, everything's going to be on TV, on WKYT and WYMT. The Saturday and Monday games are going to be at 7 p.m., and the Tuesday game at 11 a.m. with a 30-minute post-game show. I forgot that when we were talking about basketball. And should we talk about Pitino or not?
We ain't got enough time.
We don't have enough. Well, we don't have enough time today. But there are two things that came out of the Pitino stuff last week that could end up being critical for his future at U of L, and we will talk about those in depth on the Big Blue Breakdown. Look for that later today coming out.
We'll have more than 15 seconds.
We'll definitely have more than 15 seconds on it. I'm Fake Billy Clyde.
This is Scott Anderson.
Get you guys later. Go Cats.